Hi everyone, this is Lorna from It's Your Day. I'm also in here with Anita, and this is our first time on Periscope. I found out a lot about Periscope and I'm so excited about Periscope, and I can't wait to get started with Periscope and figure out how Periscope can be beneficial to brides and everything. So what we're going to focus on today is just answering a few questions about wedding planning. Some people have questions, and I just wanted to take a couple minutes to give out some free questions to you guys. Um, so let's see who is on here right now. We have, let's see here. We have a couple viewers on, and I want everyone to click your hearts to let me know if you like anything that we're saying when we go through it, anything. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to tell you about It's Your Day. It's Your Day is a wedding and event planning company. We are located in Troy, Michigan, and beyond weddings, we do also events as far as fundraisers. We do baby showers. We do any celebratory type of event. We're your go-to person for that event. It looks like we have Reese Poo on here. So we want to say hi to Miss Reese and also answer some of the wedding question tips that we have. One reason that you should hire a wedding planner is that you can save a lot of money by hiring a wedding planner. I'm sorry, that popped up through my Thunderbird on my computer. But I'm gonna give you a couple of tips on how to hire a wedding planner. You can save a lot of time by hiring us because we basically know all of the formalities. We know all the vendors that you should hire. We can do this full time, and I know a lot of times you are trying to contact these vendors while you're at work, and we can alleviate some of that stress for you and do that for you. You also can save a lot of money by hiring us because we have great relationships with vendors, and a lot of other vendors like to do business with us. So in exchange, they'll be more willing to give us a better deal than you directly because they know that we're going to give more business to you. We're going to give more business to them, within that year. So we all have great relationships with each other. Our website is itsyourdayservices.com. Follow us on the web, and then also like us on Facebook. It's It's Your Day LLC. Our Pinterest page is It's Your Day LLC, as well as our Twitter page, It's Your Day LLC. Before I give a couple more tips, I need to see some hearts floating. I don't see any hearts floating, and I wanted to know if you guys have any questions. I would love to answer some questions that you may have. So chime in with any of your wedding questions. Hi, J Money. You got any wedding questions for me? You got 2 months left, and what's the main thing? It went away. So repost that for me. I couldn't read it your question that you have. Anyone else have any other questions? If you're 2 months into your wedding, what you need to make sure you have is, if at all possible, hire a day of coordinator. You want to always have a day of coordinator because that day of, you want to be able to relax. Okay, you said you have 2 months left. What are the main things that we have? Okay, so yeah, that's definitely what I'm going to answer. You want to hire a day of coordinating. Having a day of coordinating can help. It says, what's up, family who's getting married? Hiring a day of coordinator will help everything run smoothly the day of your wedding. You don't want to rely on a family member because they want to enjoy those special moments with you as well. They want to see those first kisses. They want to see you walk down the aisle. They want to capture all of those special moments. However, hiring a wedding planner, this is our job, and that's what we're here to do, is make sure all the vendors are in their proper space at the proper time. Everything is running effectively, and that's why it's important to hire a planner. Even more than hiring just a in-home coordinator for your venue, because we know all the details of the wedding. If you're hiring a venue coordinator, they just know the details of what's going to occur at the venue itself. So we know the time that your makeup is starting, what time you're getting your hair done, what time every vendor is going to come in on that day. So those are very important things to make sure everything runs smoothly, to remove any hiccups that you have. So if all possible, if you like to plan your wedding, always hire a day of coordinator. It says we got step-by-step for the wedding. I was just left. Oh, just anything left that you may forget. You want to make sure you have all your vendor payments taken care of. You want to also create a timeline and agenda. And that's something that we do with our clients. We meet with our clients 2, possibly 3 times to plan that timeline and agenda, because we want to make sure we have everything written down and in order. Plus, we also give that timeline and agenda to all the event professionals for that day. So that is something very important too, that everyone knows and everyone plays a part, and they know the order of the day and what's going to go on. Have someone take your gifts and cards. What we do is we have a little special bag that we actually grab your gifts and cards, and we give them to a individual, whoever we ask you prior to, who do you want your cards to go to, and we give that to that specific individual before we leave at the end of the day, and make sure all of your personal items are put in one location so it's easier to pack up and grab those things. So I'll get some more questions in a moment, but another thing to always remember, and why you should hire a wedding planner, especially a day of coordinator, because we are the go-to persons for that day. A lot of times people have questions as far as when the shuttle arrives, if you're offering shuttle service. You don't want people coming up to you, master or mistress of ceremony. I'm not sure what question you were asking. I missed your name. But we're also the go-to person. So say, for example, the shuttle service arrives or it's a hiccup, they come to us instead of going to the bride, because that time goes by so quick. I've been married for 11 years now, and the day of the wedding, I wanted to enjoy my time. I didn't want anyone asking me any crazy questions, because I wanted to enjoy the time with family and friends. Because literally by the time the master mistress of ceremony does all of that, do they? No. The master or mistress of ceremony, it's no master or mistress of ceremony for a wedding. That's usually for a program or something of that nature. You have a master or mistress excuse me, of ceremony. That's why you do need a planner and a coordinator, because basically we run the order based on the client, and we also let the vendors know when it's their time to do whatever they need to do that day of. I hope that answered your question. But going back to what I was saying, that we act as the go-to person for your wedding, so no one has to come to you the day of, and you can actually enjoy it. What if we want to save money though? If you want to save money, that's why, if you're able to plan your wedding, I would say go ahead if you feel comfortable enough. But for that day of, it's going to be well worth the investment, and to prevent a huge headache the day of the wedding. So that's worth your investment, hiring that day of coordinator. You really need a day of coordinator. So that should be a top priority, just like getting your ring and having your attire for the wedding. That should be part of your priority. I understand a lot of people can't afford it. One thing that I do with my services is that we do provide a percentage that you pay to book us, and then the other payments are broken down, so you don't have to pay all of our day of coordinating package at one time. So I'm not sure what the other planners do. I do know a couple that do that and offer that service also, but that's something that we do. Is there any other questions before I give one more tip, and then we're going to go ahead and get out of here and possibly Periscope on tomorrow too. Anyone have any questions? Okay, well, another thing and a great reason to hire a planner is that we can handle any crisis that may arise. For example, we keep an emergency kit, and in that emergency kit has everything that you would need to help with handling an emergency. Like I've had a bride, the seam of her dress came loose, so we had our little emergency kit that we were able to use. Sometimes women, it says, wait, can you share some of your experiences? Oh, for example, okay, so some of the crises that we've had, for example, one time a bride the wedding was late due to, I won't go into details of why the wedding was late because it's quite personal, but the shuttle bus that they hired was only for a certain amount of time. It was a very short time frame, and what they did, the bus driver came to me personally and was saying, I'm getting ready to leave. He was like, I don't want to be rude, but they're over there taking their photos and I'm getting ready to leave. So what I did was I went, because I knew who to go to that day of, because that's something I discussed with my brides. I went over to the dad and I said, Dad, we have an emergency. As you know, it started late due to what happened prior to. The shuttle bus is getting ready to leave. He went and handled it, and the bride never knew that day that the shuttle bus was getting ready to leave due to something that occurred that was based on, things that was out of their control. So that's some of the things that could happen. Otherwise, if I wasn't there and I didn't see him, he was headed straight to that bride and groom to tell them, hey, I'm getting ready to leave. And the brides could just panic and just freak out like, oh my gosh, I'm getting ready to, they're leaving. What are we going to do? We don't have ways to get home. I try to prevent all of that. So a lot of hiccups that occur, my brides don't even know about. Sometimes if we talk back and we do a debrief, I may let them know some of the hiccups that occur, but that's just one. Last year we had a wedding and they hired a company to do the chair covers for the ceremony and for the reception. However, the ceremony chair covers were supposed to be one color. The other the reception chair covers was another color, and they had it wrong. We got there, we always get there about 2 hours before. We got there and we knew as soon as I walked in, I said, oh my gosh, this is wrong and you guys have to change it right away. Didn't that happen, Anita? Anita's in the office with me too. She works closely with me on a day-to-day basis inside the office. Say hi, Anita.
Hey people, how are you guys doing?
So as soon as we walked in and we saw that, I'm sorry, my screen just blinked out. Okay, as soon as we walked in and saw that, what we did was told the staff there, and they were actually getting ready to leave, and they immediately had to get all the staff on deck to change over those chair covers to the right color. And if you did not, this is another reason why, if you did not have a planner, and I did partial planning for them, so I knew the details of what they were trying to have for their ceremony and for their reception, and it was very important to them to have this specific color for their reception because it would have clashed. So all hands were on deck. They had to change over those chair covers, and we had about an hour to do it, and it was about a 250 guests. You said, what if we want simple? Oh, what if you want simple? I've done as simple as 50 people a couple weeks ago. We did a wedding in May. It was absolutely beautiful, a very small intimate facility, and I need to see some hearts. I'm getting hearts, but I need to see some hearts on the side just to say that if you like what we're talking about. If not, that gives me an idea of what to speak on and what not to speak on for our next Periscope, so that helps me out a lot too. But plain and simple is very elegant. She had about 50 guests for her wedding. Everyone wore white. She had a very simple centerpiece, but it was absolutely beautiful, absolutely intimate, and straight to the point. So even if it was simple, she still hired us for coordinating, because we still need to do, no matter the size of the wedding, we still need to make sure all those vendors were in their place and everything went as planned. The size of the wedding just determines on how many people we hire that day of. Oh, that is so cute. um, the size of the wedding just depends on how many people the day of we have in our on our team that comes, but you still need a day of coordinator. Okay, I'm going to open up for a couple minutes for questions and answers. What if you don't like? Oh, we had a bride that actually was allergic to flowers. And I think Anita, don't we have a blog about this?
Yes, we do.
We have a blog. Check out our blog on itsyourdayservices.com. But you can do some creative way. It's a lot of creative ways to decorate your reception without having any flowers. Because we did have a bride that did not. Well, she was allergic, so I shouldn't say she didn't like them, but of course you don't want her sneezing and itching during her ceremony. So that it's candles, and you can do silk arrangements. I love fresh though, but it's a lot of different ways. So definitely check out our blog. What if we have no vendors, family set up? Are you saying like the family is setting up everything for you? If so, that's fine. It makes me a little nervous, because even when I do a wedding for a family member, they still sign a contract. I did my brother's wedding, and he's my brother. I did not charge him. However, business is business, and I signed a contract. He signed that contract. We both agreed on what I was doing and what he was doing on that day, so it would not be any miscommunication. So even if you're dealing with a relative, I strongly suggest that you have them sign a contract if they're a vendor, but I always suggest to hire professional vendors. But they could be a professional, but you still need to sign a contract. You need to make sure that is taken care of, because that day of, I have seen personally brides hire family members and they're nowhere to be seen. So we don't want that the day of. I don't want that stress on you. So if you have a contract, then I mean, you can legally take them to court, because they agreed to do this even if the service was free. Okay, so it is now 3:20. If we have any other questions, feel free to shoot them out right now. I want to see some hearts. Contracts with specifics. Oh, yes, definitely. You have to have a very detailed, specific contract. I mean, we have everything written in our contract. It's very, very important on what you're providing that day of, so it will not be any hiccups. You won't, as the client, assume that something is being provided and it's not. Well, we're going to chime out for today. I'm so excited. This was our first, like I mentioned before, this was our first Periscope, and I'm looking forward to doing some more Periscopes, about 2 or 3 a week. If I get Periscope addicted, then I may do more, but I've been on Periscope every day since I logged in on Thursday, and I love it, love it, love it. Please follow us. Oh, that's awesome. Please follow us and like us and share our page, our Periscope link with your family and friends. And Anita, do you have any words to say?
Yeah, and also do let us know if you guys want to discuss or talk about any topics, and we would definitely love to do that.
Oh yeah, feel free to email us, because our next Periscope will be question and answer. So you can email us at admin at itsyourdayservices.com. Follow us on Instagram. Send us a post on Twitter. As well as, thank you, as well as Facebook. Our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest is It's Your Day LLC. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time.